This is One Broke Gamer Girl, and this is my review of God of War for the PlayStation 4. I've been a God of War fan since the PlayStation 2 and have played every single game that has been released for this franchise. Some of them have been awesome, and some of them have just been utter trash. But this God of War, this one I was super excited for since it was first shown off at E3 a little while back. It looked like a whole new reboot to a franchise, and there's nothing that I love more than a good reboot of a franchise that deserves it. After playing for 5 whole months, I finally got the Platinum Trophy, so that means it's time for a review. In this version of God of War, you play again as Kratos. He's not the same Kratos you know, though. He's different. He has a son now, Arturus, and a wife, Faye, who has just died. Taking place many, many years after the last God of War, Kratos finds himself in ancient Scandinavia. This is a complete 180 from the ancient Greece setting and mythology, as you'll now be following along with the Norse mythology in the Midgard realm. Trying to hide his true nature, Kratos will try and fulfill Faye's last dying wish, and by doing that, he'll also be hiding his son's true nature. The journey to the highest peak of the 9 realms to spread Faye's ashes is no easy task, as both Kratos and Arturus will be tested along the way. This will bring the father and now son duo closer together, but it will also reveal a twist that history shall eventually repeat itself, leaving this game open for many sequels.
Found some.
Get in the boat, boy.
I was blown away by this game. It was simply amazing, and I love not only the change in scenery, but the change in mythology, and the change in Kratos. Kratos, while still the same Kratos that everyone knows from the previous games, has changed and has tried to hide his past. He wants to forget everything that happened in Greece and start anew, but it seems like that won't happen. The addition of Arturus was an interesting one. I enjoyed watching the father-son interact with one another, and how Kratos not only changed from the man you knew him as, but changes again by the end of the game. This game had a bunch of twists and turns, and I enjoyed every single one of them. I thought that this was probably the most plot-heavy God of War games to date, and it really showed how the game has changed over the years from the original game in 2005 to this game released 13 years later. I give the team that worked on this game a lot of credit, as a lot of effort went into this game, and it wasn't a half-assed attempt to revitalize an old franchise. This was a proper reboot, and I look forward to the many sequels to come. The playability of this game is just phenomenal. While at first you only have your Leviathan axe that was made specially for Faye, Kratos wields it well and it's a handy tool. Don't think that this game forgot about Kratos' Blades of Chaos though, because they didn't, and you'll get them back much later on in the game. Thinking that once I got the blades back I would immediately go back to them, I actually didn't, as I preferred the axe and the versatility of the axe a lot better than the blades. Either weapon worked well, as did the arrows that Arturus could use to aid Kratos in battle when needed. Like any God of War game, it wasn't all fighting. Returning are the many different types of puzzles to solve along with some epic side battles. This is also the first open world God of War game, and that was just something else. The other God of War games have kind of been linear in where and when you'll arrive at places, but this time the choice is all yours. I like this as it not only made the game last longer, but it made it more interesting in the process. Throughout my playthrough, there were no bugs or glitches within the game itself, but there was something notable in the trophy department, and I'll get to that in a little bit. The only real gripe I had about this game was all of the rowing that had to be done via this little boat that fit Kratos and Arturus. There was the option to fast travel, but until it was unlocked, it was the little boat that was slow as hell. I know it couldn't have possibly been as fast as, say, a car, but it could have been just a little faster, as sometimes the rowing to different areas broke the immersion of the game when it took so long. What can I say about the graphics of this game besides the fact that they were just phenomenal? Remastered Kratos looks amazing and still felt like Kratos at the same time. Sometimes when remastering games or porting over characters from older consoles, their designs change and they look different. This disappoints people since it really doesn't feel like the same character, but this didn't happen with the game and I was truly impressed with that. Kratos still looks like Kratos, just bigger and badder than ever. The attention paid to the detail of the surroundings was just amazing and mind-blowing as everything looked absolutely real in this game. All of the areas in this game were beautifully crafted, nothing was repeated, and it just looked amazing. I can't say enough good things about the graphics for this game because they were that good and the hype was real. Now on to the trophies for this game. There are a total of 37 trophies for this game, making it by far the easiest God of War game to platinum ever. Unlike the other God of War games, there are no trophies for difficulty levels, as this game basically just wants you to play and do everything this game has to possibly offer. This means that there are places to explore, collectibles to get, Valkyries to defeat, and the game itself to complete. While I don't mind collectibles, they're pretty much spelled out in each area that you need to get, and you'll have to search the area in order to find them or use a guide. I do mind when the game isn't accurate with the collectibles counting. This is most apparent with the ravens that you have to find for the Allfather Blinded trophy. There are a total of 51 ravens in the game, and while in different realms the count of ravens is spot on, in Midgard the count is off. This is probably because the game doesn't count a few areas that there are ravens in, and your overall summary will show that you're missing some ravens by the end of the game. I let this game sit for months because I was missing one raven. One raven. It wasn't the only trophy preventing me from getting the platinum, but it was a trophy that for a long time I considered glitched and didn't even bother to try to get the rest of the trophies. Turns out, one of the areas that isn't marked properly on the map had a raven that I missed, and once I got that raven, I got the trophy. This is something to this day that isn't fixed, so I'm going to say that if you're going into this game, beware of the ravens that don't show in certain areas so that you're not pulling out your hair trying to find the last raven or think that the game is just glitched. Learning from past mistakes, this God of War is multiplayer free. This is strictly a single player game and there is no other way to play this game. This experience is for one person alone and I think it's better this way. I applaud the team that worked on this game for not adding in some kind of tacked on multiplayer that could have been played in like a death match or something like that because it would have taken away from the masterpiece that is this game. Overall, I give this game a 4.5 out of 5. Here's what's great about it. A complete reboot to the God of War franchise as it takes a step away from ancient Greece and its mythology to go to ancient Scandinavia and the Norse mythology. It has the best plot in any of the God of War games that not only leaves this reboot open for sequels, but also has enough twists and turns that will keep you extremely interested and make you want to play until the closing credits and then even after that. Not to mention, the new open world God of War is just beautiful and remastered Kratos looks better than ever but still looks like Kratos. Also, there's the fact that there are no game-breaking bugs or glitches and the playability of this game is just flawless. Here's what's not so great about this game. My only gripe with this game is that the Midgard map is so huge that it isn't marked properly, making collectibles like the ravens extremely hard to find and can make you lose track of them since all the areas will say that you collected all the ravens, but there will always be one or two missing from the main summary, preventing you from getting the trophy until you find that last raven.
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer.
Which way?
In the direction of deer.
Okay, this way.
I really love this game and hated that it took me so long to finish it because I was really into it. Things like mapping out collectibles for a trophy that didn't work properly is something that just turned me off from this game, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't play this game. Knowing a game's flaws from the beginning helps since you know what to expect going in. That being said, until the Allfather Blinded trophy, I had a wonderful experience playing, and I have to say that this is my favorite God of War game since the beginning of the franchise. It gives the whole game a reboot and still feels like the same game. It's truly an amazing game, and if you're a fan of the franchise, it's a game that can't be missed. If you're new to the franchise and want to check this game out, I would say to do it because while it does have some lore from previous games in it, it doesn't have enough that you'll be lost by not playing the previous game. This game is definitely worth it, and one of the games that should be in every gamer's collection.
My boat!
No! You are not ready! Stay back!
This is One Broke Gamer Girl. I just want to say a big thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you just watched, then go ahead and hit that like button down below. One more thing, since you've already hit the like button down below. You've already hit the like button down below, right? Well then, why not go ahead and go one step further and leave a comment too? Since you've already hit the like button and left a comment, you did both of those already, right? Then why not just take one more tiny little step and hit the subscribe button as well? Just one more thing, since you've already come this far, would you kindly check out the links in the description? That way you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and maybe even check out my blog.